Got him. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Main Event Adjacent. I'm Chris, that's new. We are back, and this time it'll be more than every other week because I don't have anything planned for a while. So, thankfully, everything will be, going forward. We are here to hit you with all the sights and the sounds of this week's wrap up in the WWE world. I think we should have started off with Monday on Monday Night Raw. We had a bunch of different stuff happen. We had the first match in a long time for one Asuka. She defeated Stephanie Vaquer, Ivy Nile, and Raquel Rodriguez to advance the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. What was your takes overall on Asuka's return?
Well, we knew going into the match that the winner was either going to be Asuka or Stephanie.
Yeah.
And I believe we were all going towards it being Asuka. That being said, she looks like she didn't miss a beat.
No, she really looked good.
Yeah, there was I didn't see any ring rust at all. I think it was a good match. Every woman that was in that match is amazing in the ring.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think the biggest surprise for me was considering how long she was out and the fact that it really just didn't feel like she missed any time. I think that was really what was impressive. Is a lot of the times you see superstars miss that much time, and you see a little bit, they just need that little bit of time to adjust, this and that. Nah, bro. Asuka was like, hold up. I didn't miss shit.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with Alexa, too. She was out for 2 years and then came back and didn't miss a beat either.
In the Rumble.
So,
yeah. Of course, we did skip over. The beginning of the episode started with Liv Morgan coming out and addressing her attacking Nikki Bella prior to or over on SmackDown the week before. We will have more in a bit with Miss Liv Morgan. I'm trying to remember what else happened during that promo. I think that was kind of just it, because I don't think Io showed up, did she?
Yes.
Did she?
Yes, she did. Because she told Liv to shut her mouth.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure Raquel come out too, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Kyrie came to help. Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't know, this was 4 days ago. And my memory ain't too good anymore. But yeah, then we obviously had a gorilla position segment where Liv walks up to Raquel and she tells her to go out and win, not worry about it, and she'll take care of Kyrie. Then we had the Fatal 4-Way for the women's, which obviously Asuka won. Let's see, what else do we have?
Wait a minute.
What?
Let's address the fact that they gave Asuka back her first theme song.
That was so, oh my god, dude, I was so hyped because I was like, no, I hope they don't go with the second one. It wasn't as good, but that original theme is perfect. It's the best.
It is very, very good.
Oh yeah.
I believe after that was the Judgment Day segment.
Judgment Day thing, yeah. yeah, after the Fatal 4-Way, we had a Judgment Day segment, um, where Raquel obviously had ice on her neck. Liv walks up, wants to talk strategy with Raquel. For Io and Kyrie, uh, Raquel said she wasn't medically cleared yet, so she said she'll Liv walks off, handles it, says, "Oh, I'm gonna handle it myself." Uh, Dom goes to go after Liv, but JD stops him and asks why he's facing AJ Styles, which that was a fun. Oh yeah, no, by the way, you're gonna face AJ. Um, he's Dom said AJ's been trying to steal his championship, so he wants him to handle it. Finn obviously steps in and says he'll be out there to help him. But because he didn't beat him the week prior, Dom was like, "Oh no, I'll be out there. I'll be out to help." Um, Obviously, and then they walk off. Roxanne walks up to Finn. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, she had said she wanted to be out there to help Liv. I think, right? Or was it to go help Dom?
What what did she say?
I don't fully remember.
I actually don't know if. Oh,
We,
no. Balor told her that he had an idea, and
yes, that's
then
right.
and then nothing else happened. They just walked off.
Yeah. Obviously, we never really got a payoff with
Yeah, no.
Roxanne. Next was a promo by the new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. He starts, saying how he's the best and how he was just better than Jay, blah blah blah. Gunther, typical Gunther promo. And then what do we hear?
Boom.
But
Boom.
boom, boom. Goldberg, Goldberg,
Goldberg.
Goldberg. We get the
Jeez.
return of Bill. Goldberg comes back, looks jacked as fuck. You noticed he had a little bit of a limp. His knee is still fucked up, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
I think his knee's still a little messed up. We got a good promo from Goldberg, and announced that he is going to be battling Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship in Atlanta at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are we feeling about?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't feel good because I think they're gonna have his retirement match at SummerSlam, and I think that means that he's going to win the title at Saturday Night Main Event.
Word on the street is that this is it.
Okay.
That he wants Gunther to be his final.
Okay, well that's good.
Which would be crazy if
That
they had him win the
mean,
title. That would be nuts. Although it would be fitting
they did it.
because, a WCW guy holding the World Heavyweight Championship, granted,
Wouldn't it?
it's obviously not the big gold belt, but it's still
Still the belt.
it's
Big
still the
Gold
belt.
was an amazing belt.
It was so good. And the fact that he's 58, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like them doing it at Saturday night's main event. I think that's a better move, personally, than having it at, like, let's say SummerSlam or Night of Champions. It's not a Raw or a SmackDown, but it's not like a pay-per-view. It's a special event, but
They're doing it on Saturday night's main event, so all the commercials can hide the the bad wrestling that's gonna happen from Goldberg.
Yeah, we're gonna get commercial night main event or Saturday
Yeah,
night main commercial. Up next was JD McDonough versus AJ Styles. This was a good match.
it was.
I, Corey Graves saying that JD has the skull the size of a Minecraft character.
That was so funny.
I was like, oh my god, Corey. Oh, there's a moth in my. Wait, can I?
Y'all don't understand. Tonight's just been
Oh, hold on.
us against bugs.
We're gonna load up 3, 4.
He shot a spider down earlier.
I did with a Nerf gun.
And I had a moth flying around my monitors earlier. I don't know where it went.
I lost it. Fuck. That's right. It's loaded and ready to go. I just happened to look up and I was like, it's a fucking moth.
Yeah, bloopers.
Garfield, you want to like handle that?
Garfield said, "Nah."
You want to handle that moth?
Uh-oh. Oh boy, he done made eye contact.
He'll jump up on the thing next to me. And now.
That kitty.
Hi. I was like, can you see him on your end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted was attention. Dude, shout out to McDonough for taking a brutal Styles clash.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta put some respect on McDonough. Like, we all make fun of his head size. But
he's
like
so
the dude,
talented, bro.
he's so talented, and he walked away from something that could have done way more damage.
It could have been way worse because like
It could have been way worse.
you want to talk about worst taking of the Styles clash ever. Do you remember this? When
Oh, were
James
you about to
Ellsworth
say?
tucked
Yeah,
his fucking
yeah,
head down and AJ
yep,
had to adjust so he didn't fucking kill him?
yeah.
It's like, oh my god. Um, I mean, he. I was trying to remember how this match went, like part for part. Um, but it was a good match. AJ did end up getting the win. Um, then we had a backstage segment with Sheamus warming up. He was talking to the Alpha Academy, which at this point, honestly, Natalia's hanging out with them, so I'm just gonna lump her in with Alpha Academy at this point.
Well, they have a team
might,
name now.
do they? Her and Maxine.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Hold
loved
on,
her.
I will get
I
it to
love them
you
together.
shortly. Because they now have merch as well.
That's epic.
The Dungeon Dolls.
I love it. That's so good. They were trying to hype up Sheamus because he had to go against Rusev in his qualifier. And then Bailey, they show Bailey walking through when she passes by the New Day, trying to what seems as mediate another fight between Waller and Theory. Now here's the question. Do we finally see babyface Austin Theory?
I think it's coming. The thing is, they've been showing them interacting with the New Day, but we haven't seen Theory or Grayson on a main show doing anything in a long time. They were on NXT where they fought Oba, which was a really
Yeah.
dumb decision on their part, but
No, for real.
but they haven't done anything on the main roster since before that. So like, at least I think they haven't done anything. But beside the point,
I can't think of anything that they've done.
yeah. So I'm curious where they will do it. Like, do they just do it on a Raw, or do they? I mean, I've already said that the Raw tag team division is the weakest, and if you end up breaking up,
Have anyone?
yeah, if you end up breaking up another tag team, like, what are you gonna do?
No, for real. They panned briefly to Evan Williams of the Green Bay Packers. By the way, I just want to point out that the fucking Green Bay, Wisconsin crowd was shit. I'm gonna say it because we've established that I'm the one that's not afraid to say things on here. Um, it wasn't good. The crowd was weak for sure. I don't know if that's just because of like timing or just the lack of, if the show didn't feel good. I don't know. It was just bad. The crowd was rough. Then we had Bailey address her attack on Becky before. And then Becky does come out. They have heated words, pointed words. And obviously I assume that this is going to be setting up a championship battle, which I don't think that's been announced.
No, I think it's going to be a triple threat match at Evolution between Becky, Bailey, and Lyra for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah. Obviously, then we go to commercial. They talk to Jay. Then we get a backstage segment briefly with Nick Aldis, who is acting right now as general manager for both shows while Adam Pearce deals with health stuff. Do we know what's going on with Adam Pearce?
I don't believe so. I don't think he's made it public.
No, to say, hopefully everything's all good with Adam Pearce. We do love us Adam Pearce. He's a good guy.
We do.
So hopefully everything's all good there. And then we briefly see we do talk about a title match. That's right. It does get talked about that next week that Bailey will wrestle Becky for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Then she bumps into Lyra. Bailey apologized for not getting back to her, saying it's been a rough couple months. Lyra gets upset and says when Bailey wins the title, she'll also do what's best for her. I am trying to figure out what we're doing with Lyra right now. Do we want her to be a good guy? Do we not want her to be a good guy? Do we want her to be better? Do we not? I'm not sold 100% on Lyra yet. Like, in-ring ability, unbelievable. But on the mic, I don't know.
I mean, she can do anything. She's the greatest women's wrestler of this generation. I don't...
You don't even believe that. Next, we had a very short match between Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan.
Should we just address it now, or do we wait?
Well, we could talk about. Well, let's talk about what happened.
Okay.
So, a weird freak accident. Unfortunate that it happened. Kairi Sane has a quick takedown. I think it was a dragon screw. Everything looked normal, nothing crazy, but Liv looked as though she landed weird, rolled out of the ring, immediately grabbing her shoulder. I knew something wasn't right when they just stopped showing her on camera.
Yep.
Liv they ended up calling the match because Liv got hurt. Um, we'll discuss a little farther in detail, but it looks as though it was her shoulder. I believe they ended up saying it was a dislocated shoulder. Obviously, the worst part is this is two wrestlers now that have been injured wrestling Kyrie since she's returned. This was a complete accident. And again, you can't even really blame Zoe's injury on her either because it was just miscommunication. That stuff happens, but this just looks like a weird, but just a weird landing that it just obviously dislocated her whole shoulder.
Yeah, and I want to address that there were a lot of hate comments that I saw that said, why was Kyrie in the ring, jumping, like running the ropes, jumping off the turnbuckle while they were working on Liv outside of the ring? And why she celebrated when they called the match for her after they figured out that Liv couldn't continue. And my biggest thing is, like, what do you want her to do? She's not medical. What the hell is Kyrie gonna do?
It's still a show.
Yeah.
The show has to continue.
Yeah. I mean, Kyrie's not the doctor. So
just everyone needs to fucking chill out. Like
yeah.
This is getting nuts. It really is getting nuts. Obviously, we hope that Liv recovers as soon as possible. We hope that she gets back. Because that was wild. Another backstage interview with Sami Zayn talking about his upcoming match when Karrion Kross comes up, and things get a little heated, don't they?
They sure do. Because Karrion Kross is, well, he's Karrion Kross. We make fun of Karrion Kross a lot on stream, but honestly, push Karrion Kross. That's the first thing.
Absolutely. Just hashtag push Karrion Kross.
Hashtag push Karrion Kross. He basically called Sami insane. He said that, Randy's going to go on to be a 15-time world champion. And guess what, Sami? You're going to stay at 0.
Yeah. He's trying to provoke Sami. And
it worked.
It worked. He said, yeah, when this is all said and done, I'm coming for you. And then the look on Karrion's face, and he goes, I'm looking forward to it. I was like, oh, shit. And then
the main event. Pray.
The main event happens. The King of the Ring tournament. Fatal 4-way between main event Jey Uso, Yeet, Rusev, Sheamus, and Bronson Reed. Bro.
Chris. That's a whole lot of meat.
That was a lot of meat, bro.
Rusev
and Bronson Reed. It's like, oh my god. Just slapping the shit out of each other. This was a good match. Like the fact that Sheamus was able to pick up, was it Bronson, and hit him with a white noise? It's like, bro.
Sheamus is strong as shit.
CrossFit Jesus.
Yep.
I mean, let's see what does happen. I know Braun Breaker gets involved. The ending of this match was crazy.
Dude.
Fucking
so oversaturated.
Trying to process what happened. Braun Breaker comes out, attacks Sami, and then he tries to throw Sami over the commentary table. Then fucking Penta comes out, hits him with a somersault senton. Meanwhile, Bronson Reed hits Uso the Death Valley driver. He goes to hit the tsunami, and then fucking LA Knight comes out of nowhere. allowing
Look,
allowing Jay to hit a spear. Uso splash to win the match. Seth comes rushing out, but before anyone can get there, Cody comes to help his boy, his bestie, and they end up looking at each other, shaking hands at the end, and that's how the show ends. Um, what were our thoughts on Raw?
look, I love a good oversaturated match.
That was chaos at the end. I
I
was like, oh my.
I loved the main event of WrestleMania 40,
Oh my god, I know so much shit went down.
but this felt so unnecessary.
It really did. All the people that Seth is pissed off.
But like I said on stream, I think Raw was uh average, I would
Yeah,
say. Like it wasn't bad. It wasn't I wouldn't even say it was like eh
it
or
was fine.
yeah, it was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't see a problem with it. It was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I feel the same. I mean, it was solid. It was fine. Obviously, Liv getting hurt, I felt like kind of took some wind out of the sails, but that happens. Injuries are a part of the thing. That's just, you know. So I'd say a 6, 7, 7 out of 10. It was a decent show, no problems, but the ending of that was crazy.
Right.
You want to take on NXT, considering you
I
watched
sure
NXT?
can. I sure can. All right. So, NXT opened with a match between uh so they did 4 women's matches. Those 4 women will face off in a fatal 4-way for to determine who's going to be the number 1 contender to JC Jane's title.
Which is crazy still to think that fucking JC Jane
Yeah,
is the women tag as the NXT Women's Champion.
that is very it's still crazy to say. So the first of those matches was Thea Hale versus Jada Parker. You know, that match was really good.
Of course it was.
Um, and it had a controversial finish. Uh, Thea Hale made Jada Parker tap, but the ref was on the other side of Thea Hale and didn't see the tap. So Thea Hale started celebrating because she felt Jada Parker tap. And then Jada hit her finisher. And which by the way is called the Hypnotic. That's a really sick name for a finisher.
That is.
And won. So I'm curious how they're gonna fix that or how they run with that. But yeah, so Jada Parker won the first spot. After that, there's a backstage segment between Josh Briggs. I'm gonna butcher this. Yoshiki Inamura
Yeah.
and Elijah. Because they have a 6-man tag match later on between Trick and First Class. After that, Hank and Tank show up, the tag team champions. They tell Inamura and Briggs that they'll have a tag title shot down the road. And then Oba shows up. And he basically tells everyone how he got past Jasper Troy.
Okay.
And then there is a face down between Trick and Oba. the TNA World Champion, and the NXT Champion. After that, there's a vignette between, not between, but of Blake Monroe. For those of you that don't know, Mariah May. But her new name is Blake Monroe.
Balake.
After that, we have the second women's match of the night between Lash Legend and Kalani Jordan. Another great match, by the way. Lash ended up winning. So now the two people in the match are Lash and Jada. After that, we have a promo between Stax. If you don't know, Stax betrayed the D'Angelo family. And he's been feuding with Tony D'Angelo ever since. He went out to the ring. Tony did, to see if Crucifino was on his side. Stax came out and went to go attack Tony, and Crucifino helped him. So I'm curious to see where that storyline goes. Very curious to see where that storyline goes. After that, there's a Chase U segment, which was funny. Ended with Andre Chase saying, "What the fuck?" Ethan is with those. Ethan was with Vanity Project backstage, telling everyone how he destroyed Ricky Saints. That was interesting because he didn't really destroy Ricky Saints, but
Nah.
nah. They show Blake Monroe getting out of the car. That was next. And then we have the 6-person tag between Elijah, Inamura, and Briggs versus Trick, and First Class. Yeah.
Even though it's not fully First Class, right? Because Casey Navarro's wasn't in it.
Yeah, and actually, KC didn't even wrestle. They got replaced with Wesley.
I was gonna say, because I believe Casey Navarro's hurt.
Yeah. That match was really good. The NXT has nothing but banger matches. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh, everyone's good in fucking NXT.
Elijah, Briggs, and Inamura won. Then we have another women's match between Izzy Dame and Zarya. Tatum Paxley gets involved because she's trying to find friends. She wants to be a friend to Sol Ruka, who was at ringside. It distracts Zarya. Zarya loses. I love Tatum.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't stop, she's going to get mollywopped.
She's gonna get soul snatched.
She's going to get soul snatched. And then we have the final elimination match between Jordan Grace and Lola Vice. Yet another great match. The winner was Jordan Grace. I would have preferred Lola one, but really either of those two I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Tatum apologizes to Sol Ruka and Zarya. Izzy Dame walks up and basically says, "Hey, they're being rude to you. You don't deserve that, Tatum. They're not your real friends."
She's trying to recruit her.
Yep. Noam Dar shows up.
Oh, the other remaining
And
the other remaining member of the metaphor.
yep. He's gonna defend his Heritage Cup. I believe it's next week for against Stacks.
Ooh, I I'm a big Noam Dar fan. I've been a big fan of Noam Dar for many years. Um,
Yeah.
his indie run through the UK is for a long time. I was watching a lot of UK wrestling. Obviously, I was and it's NXT UK work. Uh,
Yeah.
a big Noam Dar guy. So I love that he's still going in NXT and he's found a good home there. It
Yeah.
works. This 205 Live
Yeah.
didn't work.
Not at all.
They tried. I was at an episode of 205 Live and I sat there for like 15 minutes before my friend and I were like, "Nope, we're gonna go. This is dumb."
It sucks because a lot of those cruiserweights were really good.
Yeah, just no one gave a shit because Vince.
um, After that, we have Blake Monroe's contract signing. Ava introduces her. I'm not sure how I feel about her music yet.
No,
It's alright. It's not horrible. It's Def Rebel. You take what you get. Uh,
I don't
uh
understand their obsession with using Def Rebel for everything.
I hope the new themes that they're getting from the mainstream artist are better.
Oh, I heard that they're doing that now.
Yeah. Monroe says that WWE has always been her dream, and if you've been following Mariah May for a long time, you know that. Um, and now that she's here, the NXT Women's Division is all hers. She signs the contract. Fatal Influence comes out with JC leading the way. The funniest part of NXT was when JC wouldn't shut up and Blake Monroe picked up the mic and said, JC, have you ever tried this one? And then slapped the hell out of JC. It was so funny.
Just that is terrific.
And then Fatal Influence put Blake Monroe through the table. And that is how NXT ended.
Thoughts on the show?
It was amazing. It was my favorite show of the week.
That's terrific. So switching over to SmackDown, obviously, now that the NHL season has ended, I can start watching NXT again. The SmackDown, which just happened, it started with the one LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting a ring in the promo, calling out Seth Rollins, saying how he screwed him at Money in the Bank, which he did, and only to be greeted by one Paul Heyman.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god! And then every time he said Seth's name, they booed, and he goes, "No, you're not supposed to boo. Let's try this again." They start like going back and forth. I love LA Knight just goes, "Well, listen, you're talking a lot of smack, and seeing as I asked for Seth and not you, how about we go? I'm gonna take all my stuff off, and we're gonna have LA Knight versus Paul Heyman right here."
Right here, right now.
The whole time, multiple times, Paul was like, "Yeah, no, I'm an LA Knight guy. You need to leave Grand Rapids, otherwise something bad's gonna happen to you." Paul leaves. As Paul leaves the ring, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed walk out.
Which we knew was going to happen.
We were waiting. They start beating the hell out of LA Knight. So he gets out of the ring. And then he grabs a table, or not a table, he grabs a chair and starts beating up on them boys. Clearly didn't need any help. Um, yeah, it was a good way to start off the show. LA Knight is so over; it's not even funny. And there's something scary about Braun Breaker walking out in a fucking sport coat and like looking like he's a fucking bodyguard for at a strip club. Looks like he's a
We
bouncer at a
keep
strip club.
saying it. We keep saying it. Corporate Braun is scary as hell.
Oh my god, it's terrifying. Next up was a semifinal match between for the Queen of the Ring between Asuka and Alexa Bliss. This match was fantastic. Again, Asuka looks like she has not missed a step. Alexa Bliss continues to show why she's still one of the best. Asuka took the win, which I honestly expected. I assumed that her coming back, she was probably going to go over here.
Yeah.
What else am I missing in between that? Because I feel like something happened in between that and the next match.
Alexa ran into Chelsea and the Hervis.
Oh, that's
and then
right.
Charlotte walked up.
Yeah. Chelsea, character-wise, Chelsea Green might be the best character in the women's division.
100%.
She's so good. She is so
not
good.
even. It's not even close. It's
no. That's when Charlotte comes up, starts talking a bunch of smack, and says that, yeah, guess what? We're gonna have a match, Chelsea. Next up, Aleister Black versus Kit Wilson, which we never got to see because Kit got into the ring, and as Aleister was coming out, Ron Killings, R-Truth, starts beating the shit out of Kit Wilson. I said Kit Harington before. Shout out, you bastard Jon Snow. But poor Kit Wilson getting his ass beat.
Poor Kit.
Obviously, we're still hoping that Elton Prince is. Hopefully, he comes back soon because we are very pro Pretty Deadly.
Yes, boy.
We're very pro Pretty Deadly. So hopefully he comes back soon. But dude, I don't know what the hell is going on with R-Truth. But that man was out for blood.
He's scary as hell.
What was actually amazing is that you had a bunch of officials run out, and Jamie Noble, at all people, seemed to be able to calm, Truth down a couple times. I have questions. I just have questions. Why?
Don't we all?
Why did we have to kill poor Kit Wilson for this?
Because he didn't yes boy hard enough.
Apparently not. After that, we had a small backstage segment, where Jamie Noble obviously still talking to Truth. Then Aleister Black comes over and says, "Hey man, you fucked with my match. That ain't cool."
It's so not cool.
It is not cool. Obviously Damian Priest comes up, tries to help out his friend and say, "Hey, Aleister, listen. He's going through a lot. Let me talk to him. Just let me talk to him." Talks to him and he's like, "Yo, dude, you can't be doing that. Like, you're causing a lot of problems here." which, if you think about it, he is. He's this new unfiltered truth seeker, Ron Killings-esque character. It's very different from what we've really seen from Truth in a long time. Like, obviously, heel Truth we haven't seen in years.
Yep.
And
Not
I
since
wouldn't even
little
call
Jimmy.
this heel Truth. This is just, I don't want to say anti-hero Truth, but I think that might be the best way to describe him.
Yeah, he's trying to put down. Wow, that's accurate though. The enemy. So because he's trying to save wrestling
Yeah.
by taking out the thing that is trying to ruin wrestling. So I guess, yeah, anti-hero is very accurate.
But I always do a lot of fucking with my hats when I wear hats. I don't understand why. Then we have a segment with Mr. Cody Raheem Rhodes, as we all love to call him. He comes out to talk to his boy Jey Uso. Talk about, hey man, one of us has got to win, and I hate that it has to be you that I got to wrestle, but that's how it's got to be. And then Sami Zayn comes out talking about how supportive he was for Sammy or for Jay, which we know that's his dog.
Yep.
And talks about Cody, how everyone was happy for Cody when he finally beat Roman, and then Randy Orton goes, Cody, we got a lot of history, but I'm gonna whip your ass if I have to.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was essentially four baby faces hyping each other up, but being like, no, we're cool, but like I gotta fuck you up. Like this we can't be friends.
We cool, but I'm gonna whoop your ass.
It's essentially what happened. And then we had the semifinal match between Randy Orton and Sami Zayn. This was a good match, I think. It's hard, right? Because how do you choose with the King of the Ring when you have four people who you genuinely want to win?
Yeah. I legitimately thought, because I thought they were going the route of
Sammy versus Jay.
like Sammy versus Jay, because I thought they were going like WrestleMania 30 Daniel Bryan with Sammy.
Yeah.
But so that really threw me off when Randy won like that. But like you said, any of those men could win.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part is how do you quantify who's the best option here?
You don't.
you don't. It's tough to I don't know.
You got a 33 and 1/3 chance of picking.
Yeah, fucking for real. I think eventually we get that Daniel Bryan-esque run by Sammy. I think he's eventually it'll pay off because he's been loyal and he's been there. And if there's one thing Triple H is good at, it's giving those homegrown NXT talent that he loves so much their due at some point. I imagine at some point we will see world champion Sami Zayn. Like he's earned it. He's put up with all the
100%.
bullshit that fucking Vince had him do, and all the nonsense stuff, and with how over he was with the bloodline. Like
he got injured by Cena in his first ever match on the main roster.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
But he got injured in a match with Cena. I don't know if he got injured by Cena.
Next up, we had Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton had a whole thing. I think Nia sounded like she had a cold or something.
Yeah, that was a little.
She sounded like
she did.
Yeah.
Like stuffy.
Yeah, unless she maybe had like a cold or she was not feeling well or something. Nia, hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully you feel you're good next week. But it was crazy. I was like, Nia sounded like she was losing her voice. I think they have a championship match against each other next week. Again, Nia, I want to like Nia. I've always wanted to like Nia. And outside of the ring, Nia Jax is an awesome person. I follow her on a couple social medias and she's cool as shit. But I just don't care. Like I have zero interest in her in this role. Tiffany, again, it's hard to see anyone taking the belt from Tiffany because she's so perfect as women's champion. But they get into a scrum. Nia essentially beats the shit out of Tiffany. And then as she's laying in the middle of the ring, Naomi comes out again with an opportunity to cash in the Money in the Bank. Nia stops her multiple times until Naomi's had enough and essentially attacks Nia.
Yep.
And by that time, Tiffany had already gotten up, drop kicks Naomi onto Nia and leaves. How many more failed cash-ins are we going to see? Are we going to see similar to what we saw with Tiffany?
I mean, because they fight for the title next week, right? So, do we see a cash in the day before a PLE? That doesn't seem likely, but I could see it.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be crazy.
I don't know. It wouldn't be the craziest cash in.
Yeah, no, it would not.
And then we had Charlotte versus Chelsea. Match was fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand what we're doing, but we're doing it. Charlotte wins against Chelsea after locking her in the figure 8. Piper then decides to jump on Charlotte, and they beat up on Charlotte, Secret Hervis, only for Alexa Bliss to come out and help Charlotte. And she goes to try to make friends with her for some reason. I'm still I'm trying to figure out why, where this is going.
Yeah, that
I don't
is.
understand it.
Yeah, that is a little. I'm a little confused by that.
Then we had a segment between Solo and Jacob Fatu. Solo essentially trying to manipulate his way back into Jacob's good graces, which isn't working. I mean, Jacob sees right through all the bullshit, and
Yep.
It essentially Jacob was like, "No, see, the problem is it all started once I got this championship. So if you want it, fight me for it." Which sets up at Night of Champions. It'll be Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. Solo tries to take a cheap shot at Jacob. He catches it, stops it, beats him up a little bit, only for JC Mateo to come out and beat up on that. They both start beating up on Solo, or not Solo, on Jacob Fatu until we hear Big Jim come help Jacob Fatu. There's some looks in between them. Very interesting dynamic.
Very interesting dynamic. Does Jimmy prevent JC from helping Solo win the title at Night of Champions?
That makes sense, doesn't it?
It would.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, I hate that there's. I hate that this is the only thing that they're doing with Jimmy.
Yeah, that does suck. But I mean, what's the? Oh, I guess it is Jacob. Like, I was gonna be like, what's the mid card on SmackDown? And I was like, oh yeah, Jacob. I mean, you could put him. He's already kind of in that program.
Yeah. It'd just be nice to see them do something that wasn't involved with his family, you know?
Yeah.
A non-Samoan match would be pretty great for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that they're just going to put the Usos back together.
Yeah, I have seen that.
It just feels like that's what they're doing. Which, I mean, I guess I'm okay with that if that's what they're going to do, just do it. But Jimmy, they're trying really hard to make Jimmy a solo act a single star and they just don't know what the fuck to do with them.
Right.
Let's see. Next we had Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. This was a solid match until Braun Breaker came in, hit LA Knight with a spear, and they just proceeded to beat the fuck out of LA Knight. He got hit with like 2 or 3 tsunamis.
3 tsunamis and a second spear.
Second spear. It was predictable, nothing too crazy. But the main event, which didn't last long, was R-Truth versus John Cena. The match was good up until the end, where we were like, what the fuck? There was like 10 minutes left before 11. John hits R-Truth with the belt, causing a DQ when CM Punk comes out. They scrum for a bit. He gets kicked, or Cena kicks Punk in the balls, hits him with the championship belt a couple times, and puts him through a table. Then grabs a microphone and proceeds to mimic the pipe bomb.
If you know, you know.
We got an unbleeped bullshit from John Cena, which was crazy. And then he taps the mic. He goes, "Hey, no one's cutting me off." Then he says, he makes the, "Oh, I'm breaking the fourth wall." And then he goes, "Yeah, all the people that, you stepped on to get ahead." And then he looks at the camera and goes, "Hi, Claudio Castagnoli. Hey, Matt Cardona. How you guys doing?" And goes back into it.
Apparently he also, and neither of us caught this, in between Matt Cardona and Claudio, he said, "Hi, Nick Nemeth." I didn't catch that. But yeah, I didn't.
Oh, poor Nikki, Spirit Squad. Ziggles. It just, dude, he fucking crushed it. Like, John Cena, man. And the fact that Punk sat there and took it.
Yeah.
Took
Yo,
the whole
USA,
thing.
you can keep your last 2.5 minutes. I'm done.
And then he goes, "Oh, thanks for letting me steal your promo to make you look even more foolish."
Oh, man.
I would say this was a saving grace of the entire fucking show.
Yeah.
I didn't hate today. I didn't hate tonight's episode. I didn't hate it. It was a solid episode. It was fine. But John Cena being John Cena just did what he always does. There's a reason he's the best ever. Like,
Right.
I want to know, what are your thoughts?
It was all right. It was more build to Night of Champions, obviously. And I think that while it was good build, I think the show was just average. Like we've been saying, I think the show needs to go like we've been saying, I think the show needs to go back. We think the show needs to go back to 2 hours. That would really, really help with a lot of their problems.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think we say this every week. SmackDown has a problem, and that's time. It's either not enough to make a good show for 3 hours, or too much going on that, like, it's a similar situation to where I felt Raw going to Netflix solved that problem. It's time constraint. You're trying to tell a good story while having to adhere to normal TV time windows. The beauty of Raw is Raw can go as long as it needs to, and then it ends, and then it's fine. SmackDown is it's just the 3 hours always feels like a drag because it's like you're packing so much into a show that doesn't need to be there. Like the regular shows do not need to be 3 hours. They do not need to be 3 hours. Like that's just not. It just doesn't need to happen.
Feasible.
I say overall, before we wrap up, just quick recap of the week. What do you feel? How do you feel going into next week with everything being go home shows before Night of Champions?
I would like to see a little bit more. Well, first off, I hope the qualifying matches for the last qualifying matches are. I hope they don't mess any other storylines up.
Fair, yeah.
And also, I just hope they're better than this week.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong with this week. It was just an average week.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, what was your match of the week?
Honestly, probably the women's fatal 4-way. Stephanie and Asuka, Ivy, Raquel. That was a great match.
It was a great match. Mine is Lola Vice versus Jordan Grace from NXT.
First time NXT winner.
Yep.
That's pretty solid. I'm here for that. I know I'm so excited to be able to finally watch NXT again because for those that don't know, I do a hockey podcast and we happen to record around the time that NXT starts.
Yeah.
Or like we're recording during and it's I just never get to it, which sucks because NXT is phenomenal now. There was a while where it wasn't good. When Vince had his hands in it.
Looking at you, NXT 2.0.
It was bad. It was so bad. But
take your.
It's.
Yeah. Do we want to get into the power rankings?
Do we want to go newsworthy stuff?
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot. Well, look at me.
Because Matt Cardona replied on Twitter to John Cena.
He did. It's Matt Cardona's funny as hell, dude.
The complete package. Gotta make sure you say the complete package.
The complete package.
He's not the indie god anymore. Complete package, Matt Cardona. He essentially said, "Hey, John Cena."
He really did.
I fucking love Matt Cardona.
So he's so good. He needs to come back.
Oh my god, he absolutely needs to come back. They need to. I don't want to see Zack Ryder again.
100%. It needs to be.
It needs to be Matt Cardona.
Needs to be Matt Cardona. Yep.
He said he travels with Zack Ryder gear.
Oh yeah, I did.
He's like, I'm always ready.
I did see that,
which I love. I love that he's just always ready. Yeah, no, I loved the promo. I think the promo was perfect, and the fact that he obviously is not going to call out Colt Cabana, but yeah, I mean, obviously Cesaro and Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler, like you got those guys now who are. One of them is signed to AEW. The other one of them just shows up wherever he wants, and then the other's with TNA. Um, I'd love to see Claudio get the fuck away from AEW because I don't think he even sees TV time anymore. Oh no, he does because he's with Mox.
Fucking Nick, fucking Nick Nemeth replied to it too. That's so funny.
That's great. Um, Another big SmackDown rumor is that and this is a rumor. I have not heard any reputable, credible sources yet mention anything about this, but SmackDown is rumored to be going back to 2 hours in August. How do we feel about that?
Please.
Yeah, it's the right move. I bitched for years that that Raw was too long, and then they made SmackDown 3 hours. I was like, fucking why? What are we doing? And USA
Yeah.
Network was like, oh, we love the numbers that it's doing. Yeah, but we don't love the quality that we're getting.
Right.
We're getting garbage. So that's good. That's big news. From what I heard, it would be the August 26th episode. So we've got about a month and a half left, if that's the case. I don't know the full extent of that. But we will definitely keep you guys posted on what we hear for sure. And the big one, we have multiple reports now of coming out for Liv Morgan's injury. It sounds worse than everyone expected. It is a dislocated shoulder, originally reported, and from the sounds of it, she needs to have surgery and could miss 6 months. So it sounds like we won't see her back this year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very unfortunate when those types of injuries happen. And even more so when it happens due to an unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
And I know, well, like I said earlier during stream, it I'm sure she really wanted to do, because she was a part of like 5 different storylines,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure she wanted to do all 5 different storylines because Liv, you can tell she really loves her job,
Oh yeah.
and I know uh, that it must be uh, you know must suck to have to be out for the rest of the year and not be able to do these storylines. So yeah, it just
Yeah,
sucks.
because I mean now everything with Judgment Day is on hold.
Yep. And her
Everything with
feud with Nikki Bella is gone.
yeah, the women's tag team championships are probably gonna have to be relinquished,
Yep.
or someone else gonna have to step in.
Yeah.
The women's world championship stuff where that she's been kind of mingling around. Yeah, she's kind of been in a lot of stuff, and it sucks. Obviously, we're all gonna be hyped as fuck in January when we most likely see her return at the Royal Rumble. I'm just assuming by then she'll be cleared. That would be
Let's hope.
sick. We can absolutely hope. I mean, Liv, you're probably not going to see this, but we love you and we hope you come back healthy and we hope you get all the best treatment because it's going to be weird not seeing you for 6 months. So get well soon. We want you to be back healthy and ready to go because I need that Nikki Bella
Facts.
feud.
Please.
Power ranking.
All right. So I will go through mine fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go do yours first.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. At 5, I have Seth Rollins.
Okay.
At 4, I have Naomi.
Mm.
At 3, I have CM Punk.
Okay.
At 2, I have Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
At 1, I have John Cena.
All right. So I'm gonna start off with number 5. I'm gonna go Blake Monroe.
Okay.
Already making a splash in her NXT debut. Um, why not? Number 4, Stephanie Vaquer. I don't need to really speak on that more
No, no, no.
at
20
all.
pages.
Yeah.
Sure.
Are you up to 20 or are you up higher now?
Well, no, probably 30, but we'll see.
Number 3, I will probably go Jacob Fatu. Uh, number 2, R-Truth. Um,
That's a very solid pick. That's
and
a very solid pick.
number 1 is John Cena, especially after tonight.
Yeah.
Um, dude, it's hard to not have Stephanie in there right now. She is the new Rhea Ripley
Yeah.
because the internet's thirsty for her, and those of us that love wrestling are like, no, y'all don't understand. Stephanie Vaquer is a fucking beast.
Yeah.
um, but no, and having, I feel like Blake Monroe is going to be as good as she was in AEW, if not better. With, I don't want to say better talent, but better booking.
Right.
Because there's a lot of amazing talent on the other side. There's just not a lot of good booking on the other side. Hence Wednesday, where there was like a fucking 10-man tag team. So
Your pissant show is on.
I'd say it's time to round this bad boy out with our top blank of all time, and seeing as Goldberg will be retiring very soon here. Um, we're going with top retirement matches. You want to go first? You want to start? Lead us off?
Sure.
Sir.
So I'll do an honorable mention first.
Okay.
First things first, I will say that both of these have the same person in them. But I think they're both great matches, and I think there could be an argument that these two are in the top 10 at least for retirement matches, best retirement matches of all time.
Okay.
So my honorable mention is Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, which I believe was WrestleMania 24.
I think so.
And then my top retirement match of all time is the Streak versus the Career match at WrestleMania 26. I think it was 26. We're gonna go with 26.
I think it was 26.
Um,
That's a solid shout.
yeah, but I Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. I know, I know.
That's wow, how crazy of you to pick Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels.
I'm not special. But uh, but they Undertaker and Shawn Michaels put on 2 clinics back to back years.
Yeah.
And I like the Streak versus the Career match more than the first one. And the ending of the match, the ending sequence, where Undertaker tips his hat to Shawn, and it's just so good. I love that whole sequence.
That's a good pick. I too have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
Stone
That's a
Cold's
damn good
final match.
match.
Oh, it was actually a really good match.
It was.
My top has someone that you have mentioned in it, but it's not who you're thinking. It's not Shawn Michaels.
Oh, yep.
I am going with the Boneyard match AJ Styles versus The Undertaker, WrestleMania during COVID 2020, because they weren't numbered then.
That was a damn good match.
It that match could have been, honestly, I don't think that match, like, if looking at it now, I don't think that match would have been as good in the ring.
Yeah, I agree.
It told the perfect story and it gave us the perfect finale for one of the greatest ever to get on his motorcycle and just ride off into the sunset.
Yep.
The Undertaker's one of my favorite of all time. But I mean, I just didn't want to be generic. There's a difference. There's that feeling of being generic, picking the same ones, and I'm like, nah, I don't think we need to do it that way. Not today. So yeah, that is mine.
I mean, hey, both of us have one with the Undertaker in it. Both of mine have Shawn Michaels in it. Look,
Can you not stand on my phone, Garfield? Thank you. Just make yourself fucking at home. I'd say that'll about do it for us. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new around here, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, let you know anytime we upload a new episode. We are obviously still working out the kinks and what we want to do with the show, what we don't want to do with the show. We're 4 episodes in. Cut us some fucking slack. In the comments down below, if you've made it this far, let us know your favorite retirement match of all time. We love hearing from you guys. Also, if you guys have any, like, if you guys want us to do like a question of the week segment or anything like that, let us know. I feel like that would be a fun addition to the show. Noob, anything you want to say before we deuce out?
always remember to believe in yourself as much as you believe in Joe Hendry.
Not bad words to live by. If you're not following us in the socials department, all of our socials will be in the description. Make sure you check my shit out. Make sure you check Noob shit out.